We, ridiculously wealthy people, are the problem. Starting today, I'm going to give away all my money, all 120 billion.
Molly Wells is here to talk about her new housing initiative, Space for Everyone.
We are on a real mission that is going to help a lot of people.
I want you to get everyone into the conference room for a, like a group talk session, like...
Are you trying to say the word meeting?
Yes, that's it. That's the word. It's Sophia again. She sent me a PDF. What is that?
That's violence, that's what it is.
We need to talk about this broken yogurt machine.
We don't have a yogurt machine.
Okay, then whatever machine I've been putting Greek yogurt into is not operating properly.
Okay. I'm just afraid that all I'm ever going to be is some rich guy's ex-wife.
You've got a better head on your shoulders than people give you credit for.
Cheers.
Everybody that works here knows that.
Put your hands in the air, now!
I took a CBD gummy last night. I'm trying to be more interesting.
Helping the masses, helping your friends.
Step on it.
I'm trying.
You're on this beautiful, selfless journey.
I don't have a partner.
Place your hand on each other's hearts.
Oh, boy.
Oh, God, my nipples are melting.
Oh, hey, Molly, did you have any thoughts on the PDF I sent you?
I refuse to learn what that is.
Here we have a folic acid kale smoothie.
What flavor is this?
Gin. That's it. That's what I'm tasting.
Well, my name is Carolyn Hines for Carolyn Talks Podcast YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for this show. It's extremely funny, but I think it's also very socially conscious and very self-aware of what the story is and like how different people from different walks of life could read into the different characters and storylines. And in talking about the different characters and storylines, what I think is very interesting about this show is while the character of Molly is kind of the center of the story, she's kind of like the head of this family, as Michaela's calling her like the mama. I think it's interesting that she isn't the one that puts all of the friendships together. Normally in these kind of ensemble shows and films, the lead is normally the person who says, oh, come, like basically make friends with this person. This is who I want you to be friends with. Whereas in this show, the friendships kind of like come together organically. For instance, the friendship between Nicholas and Howard forms organically, because Howard goes straight up and say, I'm Goku and you're Vegeta, and then, which I thought was hilarious, but also it was just like, I understand that reference. And so it was like very apropos. But then also for like Sophia and for Molly, like their friendship goes not from acrimony, but I guess from a place of misunderstanding where they didn't understand each other's mindset and each other's goals. So I want all of you to talk about just like how the friendships aren't formed because of Molly. And I like that they happen organically. Alan, you can go first, and then it'll be I guess we could go with Ron and Joel and Michaela and Maya.
I'll go last.
Yeah, don't eat it all before she gets there. No, it really, I'm glad you picked up on that, and thank you for the question. It really, besides the social message of the show and the sort of, messaging about class and the messaging about people coexisting in LA who are existing on different strata, I think you picked up on something which is a kind of stealth message in the show is people who think differently and seemingly live differently and appear differently even can be friends and get along and work together for a common good. And so the Nicholas and Howard relationship is one that always kills us. It's so funny, and it's just these kind of opposites who are ultimately good at heart, even though sometimes it doesn't seem like Nicholas is. They're ultimately good at heart, and they find this common ground, and it's just ultimately very heartwarming to watch. And I think both Matt and I feel like that's our sensibility in terms of crafting a show. And we've worked on shows in the past where there's a reward in seeing these different characters interact. And what we found going into season 2 was we still had a lot of pairings and trios that we had left on the table. And like, we hadn't seen Sophia and Arthur, and we hadn't seen Sophia and Howard as much. And we hadn't, we built Sophia and Molly so strongly during the first season. We wanted to see all of these different electrons bouncing off each other and finding which pairings really had some magic to them. And so we really enjoy building these characters up as three-dimensional people. And then once the audience hopefully gets on board with those people, there's a magic in seeing them interact with each other and become friends and become a work family. So it really fills you with joy, hopefully, while you watch the show. And I'll let these guys talk about more specifically how their characters and by the way, a lot of their characters we pulled from the actors, as Ron has mentioned and Joel has mentioned, and that's another gift that they've given us in terms of us making the show. So I'll let them take it away because they're actually living it as they perform.
Yeah, just to piggyback off what Alan's saying, I think what I love about any great workplace comedy is that it mirrors a really great workplace where you will meet people that you never would have given the time of day if you were just out in your neighborhood or out living your regular life, that you're forced to interact with, like if you're in high school or, at a big, large campus at work, and you end up making these great friendships that you wouldn't have otherwise made. As far as like real life, it's pretty easy because I think most of our relationships just mirror how I really feel about them. For me, like I'm a very open person and I enjoy all these people so much. And I think Howard's relationship with Sophia is how much he appreciates how strong she is and how much work she gets done, which allows me not to work much at all. So I have this beautiful respect for her. And then when I see Joel, it is this thing of like, oh, he's so cool. He's so nice. He's handsome, just like me. And it gives me a person to really lean into and enjoy. And then it's easy to just, to play Maya's cousin and just be like, this is a person that I love because I do. I just do. I did when I was afar. And then now that I work with her, it just confirms what you think about her from afar. She's the kindest, just makes you feel seen, makes you feel, I think one of the best things you can do, and I think is difficult when you are the number one on a show, is to make yourself not seem more important than anyone else there. And she is the exact opposite. She makes us feel so powerful, at least speaking for myself, and I think I can for everyone else. She makes me feel so funny. She makes me feel that I'm like, that it is a treat to have me around. And when I go there, I'm just like, feel honored that I'm even there. And so it allows me to really work from this place of like, oh, if I think of something funny that for Maya, I can tell her and she's not going to be like, why? I know what I'm doing. She's going to be like, oh, that's funny. I'll try it. And it makes you, and it really verifies the hard work that you've put in to get here. I think we just truly enjoy each other.
Yeah, I guess for me, the thing that is so fun is that this show does such a good job of servicing all of us and our growth. And you really see the way in which these characters affect each other in a real way. I mean, I think that's like really pronounced between, me and Ron's characters. But I think you see that between Sophia and Nat this season. And you see it, between so many different pairings, you get to experience real growth. Like we're not, in a lot of shows, I think, Maya's character would be the one that's changing and growing, and the rest of us would be static sort of caricatures that are there to serve as comedy. But I think the writers, Matt and Alan and Maya, have allowed us as sort of what would be considered in some shows secondary characters to really have our time in center stage, and you get to see their growth, and they're not just static, and that I think is what makes it really fun and fulfilling to work on as an actor. And to echo really quick what Ron is saying, like Maya isn't hanging out in her trailer while the rest of us are on set. She's there hanging out with us. There is no separation, and it makes a huge difference when the number one is just sort of like in the trenches, like eating the same snacks as you, and like showing videos. I don't know, it's so easy. And I think like that's what makes it easy to portray these characters and their friendships on screen, is because everyone is just we really like each other.
It's Very, very true. I love all these people that I'm looking at right now. I would say I agree with Joel. I mean, I remember going in, like I said, reading the first episode and then like becoming a complete fan. I realized that they really put their hearts into writing these characters, and then they took a piece of our hearts and we added that to it, which made a kind of like a fantastic cosmic burst of like comedy and great television. You can see also with me, I was reading a lot of the characters outside of myself, and I noticed that there are some things that each and every last one of our character, at least from my standpoint of view, wants from each other. I would see certain instances where Sophia would the life that Nicholas lives. I feel like there's this thing where she holds to herself where she's like, I don't know if I could ever reach that because he has such a great position. Or even in Ron's position, how free how Howard is and Sophia's his freedom to love what he loves and to be who he is, and being that Sophia is so pulled back. I see the differences in each and every one of those characters, and I think that's what made it so much easier for the characters alone to come together with each other. It's kind of like what would happen in a realistic circumstance too. As I mean, obviously we're different. When I came in, I knew I would just love all of them because I just am fans of all of them. And I like I said, I'm a learning sponge board when it comes to them. Sponge board? Is that a real thing, y'all? Sponge board, sponge.
It's sponge board
Yeah.
square short.
Square shorts. Yeah, like I feel like they are like, I mean, I'm the sponge to their knowledge, and I think that's how also what contributed to us showing what can be conveyed on television to these characters.
And I just, the only thing that I want to bring to that is that I find, for me personally, comedy is even more fun when you're part of an ensemble, especially when you know the players. I find myself much funny among other funny people. I don't like being funny in a vacuum. And so it's just really exciting to have that that group mentality and to be able to plug in. I know we always talk about the conference room days as being there. I always say like they're some of my favorite days, but yeah, they take a long time because you got to move the camera around to everybody else, but it's the joy of like knowing what you're going to get from that character and that character and that character. And once you establish all those characters and that they get to intermingle, it's like taking all your action figures, your superheroes, and then making them all, play together. Like it's the most fun, especially because the voices and I know that I can, set Ron up for something and how funny that's going to be just from knowing that character. And that's my favorite way to work. And I think very quickly early on, Matt and Alan and I talked about like just the ensemble of it all. And it's like, yeah, that's what I like. But the snacks are going to be different if we do another season, Joel. We're going to have different snacks.
Okay.
Because
Can't wait.
I really want to change it up. No more apple peanut butter. We're going hard next season.
Great, thank you so much. And also I love how each of the characters kind of remind me of something that I know intimately. Like I love like the Vegeta and the Goku references, but also I have to say like Ainsley and Rhonda kind of remind me of Betty and Blanche from Golden Girls. And like, but I kind of do. But I love that the friendships in the show are growing as the characters grow as well. So thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.